we will go and check, suppose tips. Let me see this, what is the data inside it, tips. Now we will execute it and we want to print it. So this is the data set, 244 rows, 7 column. So total bill, tip, what is the amount given by a particular person for tip to the waiter, it is the gender, the sex of that person, male or female, is he or she is a smoker, what was the day when he went for restaurant, timing, size. So you can use any data set. So it will help us, as we said earlier, it provides so many inbuilt things so that being as a developer, we can focus on the logic rather than other things. So again, we will come back to our example, which is train.csv. Now, yesterday we have seen so many things that how we can find out the valuable information from it. Now in that there are two columns called this sex and the age. So what I want to know the outliers, means the range. What is the range of the age of each and every person who was sitting in this Titanic or the train, right? So outlier, I have to check that what is the age of each and every person who were inside the ship. So with the help of outliers, I can detect it, or there are so many ways to detect the outlier, right? And outliers can be univariant or the multivariant. So if outlier is corresponding to one column, then we call it univariant, and if it is corresponding to more than one column, then we called it multivariant, right? So outlier means outlier is defined as a data point that is far from the different model that do the rest of the data. Means suppose we have the data sets called 1, 2, 3, 4 till 20, and we have one values called 900. So this is my outlier, which is behaving very different, or we can say the odd man out. So we want to detect the outlier, and we can detect it through the graph. So we can call the scattered graph and we can find out. Then we have the way we will call plt dot, then which one as scattered. So I'll call scatter method, and I want to check the values of age, right, with respect to the genders. Then I'll pass these two columns. The first is data, and second is data and so what we want to do, we want to plot a scattered graph just to detect the outlier among that data. So we call plot.scatter between two variables, data, sorry, this age and the sex. And when we will call it, let us see, just so see this is on the x-axis, it is showing the age 0 to 80, and it is showing male and female. So this 80, you can say the outliers, or the most this 60 to 70, then it is very easily we can detect, okay, that what is the common range of the persons who are in our SIP. So this is somewhere 15 to 52, 53, right? Then it is again becoming some outliers for us. So this is the way that we can detect the outlier from our database with the help of this scatter graph. And if we want to get it with another, then we can use the box plot graph also. Box plot graph is also very much helpful to detect the outliers, to identify the outliers among a particular column and from our data. So if we want to detect the outlier from any other column, what we can say fair, it is 7.2 and it is 71, right? Then we can detect the outlier with the help of box plot graph, right? Then we can go with the next one, and we will use PLT dot style dot use, which I have to use. So style name here I can give Cbon. Then we have to call this to figure and axis, and we have to call plot. We have to subplots, right? So plt dot subplots, and I have to pass the figure size as we passed in the earlier method also. So this is called fig size, and in this fig size we have to mention anything like 15:9, so that the size of the figure will be large, and we have to call the box plot, and on which column where we want to plot it. So data on here, yes. Then we don't want such type of things, so we can call plt dot show method. Yes, so here also we don't want such things. So we call the C1 style, then we want a figure with the axis, and figure size is this. Let's see. Okay, this is giving the error. Let's see, the above exception was the direct cause of the following exception, fair. So let us check. Okay, there is no such column exist. So this is the box plot. So what we can see, this from 0 to 500. This is outlier. It means in our database, the fare for one person is very much high. See, the average is lying below 20%, 200, sorry, below RS 200 rupees. Then there is a huge gap like between 250 to 80, then this is 501, right? And if we want to check, we can call the methods also, that what is the value, what is the value of this, or is it exist or not. We can call data, and then we call pair, and in that column what I want the max value, right? This is the maximum value, 512 rupees, which is very high, right? And we can calculate the outliers with the help of Z score also. So Z score is a numerical measurement which is very helpful for describing a value relationship to the mean, means a particular value, how it is related or how it is close to the mean of that value. So generally, if we want to calculate the Z score, so it is like the particular value minus the mean, the average of that column value, minus mean, and divided by the standard deviations of that column values, right? So we can check that, okay, what are the values which is needed. These are the basic things which are very much helpful when we will train our data, and when we will predict something with the help of our data. So first, what we have to do, we have to calculate the Z score. So if we'll call every variable Z score, so Z score is basically the value minus the value minus mean of that value and divided by the standard deviation. So if we go, then first value, then we call it on date age column, so data, then age, right? Then we have to go this date minus the age minus mean of that value, so data, then again call age, we have to subtract it from the mean, so we will call the mean method, and then we have to divide it with a standard deviation of that values, so data, this again age, this, and then std, right? Then we will execute it. Let us check one more time. Z score, the value which is stored in the age column and subtracted from the mean divided by this. Yes. And if we want to print it, sorry, it is not a function. So this mean value of each and every, so Z score of each and every value is calculated. Right now, what we want all the values which is a particular, so now we can decide that which value we have to accept. So minus, I mean, what is the variation we can accept it. So suppose we want that all the values, we want the data, all the values which is whose Z score is less than 3 are acceptable for my model, and rest of the values I will not consider. Then I'll use Z score less than 3. Sorry, just a minute. What? It is sorry. Z score, then which data dot
I think we need to add Z-score column, Rishika.
We right now we don't want to edit, but with the help of we can add these values to the column, and then we can check that how many values, I mean, on what Z-score values is acceptable. So we have to insert these values to the R column, right? So ultimately we have just find out that what is the Z-score, then these values can be inserted into the column, and then we can again further check that which values are acceptable and which are not acceptable for my data model. So this is the one way. And again, if we check, or again, just a second, if we want some graphical representation for few columns, let me check, add some code. Just a second. What it was giving. Okay, so next we can move and see the data explorations or other things. Even we can check the skewness also. So how these values are symmetric or not, right? So just a minute, let me check. If we want to check the skewness, which is helpful for checking the symmetry, so we can call the method, then we can draw it with the help. So next, skewness, we can check the symmetry, at how these values are symmetrical, or how these values are following the well curve. Then we can check with the help of data dot not skewness. We will check data dot. So this is the value respected to the each and every column, right? But being as in suppose I don't have a math background, then I'm not able to understand the meaning of this skewed values. Then we can check these values with the help of graph, so that we can get to know that, okay, if this value is, if 0, then it is symmetrical. And why it is 0? Because passenger ID. So generally passenger ID is what? Automatically generated by the system. It is 0, 1, 2, 3. So it is not skewed, it is symmetrical, it is showing 0. So it is positive and negative. So it is like on positive axis or the negative, where these values are skewed. So very much clear if we are having this statistical knowledge, but if we don't have, then it is very much easy to analyze with the help of these graphs. So if I want to check the value of this age, this is positive. that what is the symmetry of this column called age. So I can call the displot graph of Seaborn library on that particular column, right? So I will call SNS Seaborn libraries alias name. Then I will call the displot graph, and this is showing this displot graph because displot graph of Seaborn library, it is the combination of various graph. Internally, this is the combination of histogram, graph of matplotlib, KDE graph, and rug plot also. So where it will show the continuity and the intensity also. So internally, this displot graph integrating more than one graph. So let us check the symmetricity of these values data, then in bracket age for an example. So we can see this, and we can call this. Now we can see this age is positive value. So here it is like extending in the positive axis. If we call this negative P class, passenger class of the train, and then we will see this passenger ID also. So if we want to see the skewness of a particular column values, then we can call it. So here we can again check on another value, which is P class. So NSS Seaborn libraries alias name dot dist plot graph, and on which column I want to call it, data, then P class. Let me check the name, P class, capital P class. Now we can check. So this is graph, it is lying on the negative axis, very much skewed, right? And similarly, we want to see the skewness between all the graphs, or you can say all the columns, then we can easily visualize. We can just check one more, this which was the value of this is 0. This is passenger ID. So we can copy this so that there is no mistake on the column name, SNS, then again dist plot, and in that we will call see. So it is symmetrical, right? It is not skewed in the left side or the right side. It is more or less the following the bell curve. So it is identical because it is showing that there is no skewness in the left or the right. And similarly, we can check on other values also, right? And this is what we can analyze with the help of graph. And similarly, there are so many things which we can do with the help of functions also. So in this graph, if we want to analyze something in the grouped together, we want to merge two parameters and then we can analyze, then we have a command called group by. So we can check this. We have a data dot group by. This is data dot group by. So what it will do, it will merge two things, and it is if we want to correlate. So like the join also, it can behave like a join as we used to do in the database. So group by, and group by in which column we want to call this method. we will just go to the data, and suppose we want these two column. First is the sex and the second is the ticket, right? Then we just pass the name of these two columns, right? And we will pass the first column name, and then we will pass the second column name, right? Second is ticket, and it has to be passed inside the same bracket. Yes, and it has to be. So data dot group bys and two column. Let's check. Data dot format pandas of group by generate this, and we want to analyze it, so we have to call describe. Let's see what will be the output of this command. Okay, so what we are doing here, it merged the two columns, sex and ticket, right? And it is analyzed with, and it describe. So describe, we have seen this, it will just give the 7 or 8 parameters data: count, mean, standard, minimum, 20 percentile, 50, 75, maximum. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 7, right? This, so total 8 column, and with respect to 1 it is showing 7 into it, and this is for the female. So for female, because we have merged this on ticket also, so this is the ticket, and this is the total data. With the help of group we can see together, right? And if we want to check their size, that what is the total number of tickets which is purchased by the different genders, so we can just group by with a single column, and we can check the size it, so that it will whatever the different values we have in the column called sex or the gender, then it will group by and give us the count of that particular column. So this is again very much helpful to analyze with respect to these two columns. So this is one with respect to the passenger IT, this is with respect to the survived P class, and this is so on. So if we want to group by with only a single column, that will also give a very informative data. Data dot, again we will call group by, and now this time we will call only on the single parameter. So this is, and I want to just count the size. And what I have did, I have grouped by with a single column, right? And I want to check the size. So done. So this is sex, two different entries, and it will give the size for each and every. So in my this column, total number of female is this, total number of male is this. Even we can call the size function when we are grouping, or when we are calling group by with more than one column. So it will just group by different column, and rather than giving the different statistical data with the help of describe method, we can directly call only the size method, so that we can get the different values Just for an example, we can see data dot group by, and this time we are making the group of 3 different columns, right? So this time first is arc, and second we can make with the same Xender, and next we can make with class, right? And I want price. So this is when we are not comfortable with the numbers, then we go with the data visualization with the help of charts and the graphs, right? Now we call it, it is grouped with 3 columns: embarked, then sex, then p class. So this is 1, 2 and 3 different values available in my first column, and with respect to this it is grouped with the second column. So in embarked C, 2 values, again with respect to this 2 values, and with respect to S, these 2 values. So it gives the result. So we can just check that, okay, in embarked C, female, P class, who are having class 1 are the 43, class 2, 7 and 3. So this is a thing, then we can visualize the data with the help of graphs and with the help of numbers only. But numbers are sometimes it's not very much helpful to understand the things. That is the reason that we move to the graphs and plots. And even if we want to just this is following the stack, means this top to bottom. If we want that it will be on a stack or the horizontal, then we can call one more method. This is known as on a stack, so that it will be again more readable and more understand the data. This is unstack. Now what it will do, it will again rearrange the same data in a different format. So this is the same data, right? 43,723 embark P class. Now it is mentioned this P class mistakes, and now this time is in the unstack manner. So like you can see the horizontal manner. This is the way that we can analyze or visualize the data. And similarly, with the help of graphs, we can check. We can what I want to draw the bar graph or just another graph for my another column, so that I can analyze it. Okay, what is the group? Suppose, hello. So suppose what I want in my column, see, if someone is asking, okay, in your data, just a minute, we will just check here. If we enter our data, someone is asking, okay, in your data, this is age 22-38. So just show me the data for different ranges, like what is the range or how many people are between 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on. So what we can do, we can just call the billing thing. What we can call the bar graph, and we can just we can use the histogram graph also, where each and every win, the width of win will be this 10 to 20. So it will give that 10 to 20 total number of passengers. So we can try for it. Just a second. We can try. Okay. So next we can try this, and here we will print this data, and like only age we need it. Sorry, this is, so this is age. Now we want the age in group, so we will call the group method. So we'll take a variable called group underscore data, and what we want, we call pd dot data frame, so that the data can be stored in pandas with the help of data frame. And now what we want this data can be cut into different bins, and we have to cut that data. Yes, cut, and that can be into the different bins. So which data we want to cut? Data age. Again, this is data will be cut, data frame, pd dot data frame. Then we want to cut the data of this particular column, and pd two brackets. I hope this is right. So this data should be cut, and in what manner that has to be arranged. So we has to arrange the data in the form of different bins, and what should be the size of that particular bins, or that interval we can say. So if we want to divide that data into a particular interval, then we will pass this value. Suppose from 0, then 10, different 15, or then we can say 30. We can say the next 45, then 60, 75, then we can say 90. What we want, we have we call pd dot cut method, which will cut that data and group that data with respect to this bin, right? Then we will call it, execute it. Let's see what will be the output. Okay, unexpected end of file. Let me check where is, just a second. So this is group data, and pd dot data frame, pd dot cut, right? Then data age. Okay, then wins is equal to this.
Sir, there will be one more closing bracket, I guess.
At the last
Yes, sir.
one. Okay, yes, you're right, sir. This is 1, this is 2. Check. So this is correct, and now what we want, we can print this. So we just want to check that what will be the data which is stored into this variable. So let's see, group underscore data, group group underscore data. So let's see what is the value. Yes, wins. Okay, right. So what first value lies between this win, second is this, third is this interval, fourth is this interval, right? So it is arranged all the values into this particular bins, or we can say the interval. Now we can say the first value is into this range, and now we want to see, this is the one way when we analyze and visualize the data with the help of numbers. Now same data can be visualized with the help of bar graph, right? So what we want to represent the same age group data which contains 891 rows. So we want to represent this data with the help of a bar graph. Then we call the bar graph, or we will draw the bar graph on that particular data. So we can call the group, and then we will call the bar graph. Let's see, just a second, we will execute it. So we will call on which data? This one, because our data values is stored into this group underscore data. So this group underscore data, and we call, and it has to be grouped with which? It has to be group y with the help of group by with which data? Again the age. So which column? I have to mention the name of that column, age. This bins which is available into this column, that has to be grouped with age column, and okay, and whatever is the size of this value, right? So whatever is the size of that values, should we check it? Okay, so this is the size. So what we did, group data, which is these data, right? And this data is grouped by with age, which is available in our data train.csv. We call the size, so it gives the number. So 0 to 15, 85, 83, 15 to 30, 326, 30 to 45, 202, 45 to 60, this, and only one value which is outlier for this column. This is 1, right? So this we have done, and if we want to call the bar graph, so let's see then how it will be. Group data dot group by, then on age, right, then dot size. Now we want to plot, and we want to plot which kind of graph? Let's see what is the options we have with us. Dot L14, no, it is not showing anyway. So plot, we have to plot, and here we have to mention find which, and that is let's see. So on this data which is available here, we want to draw, or we want to plot bar graph. Let's see, this is right. So it is showing sorry, it is showing that 0 to 15, how many? Somewhere more than 50 and something. So this is 83. 15 to 30 is this, and 35 to 45, it means the maximum number of passengers which are on board on the Titanic ship or the train belongs to the age 15 to 30, means they are the youngster. And only very few, the one. So now you can just check that how it is easy to visualize the data. This is the same, the one step back for visualizing the data. Then these are the two things. This is just the numerical representation of a particular data, and this is the graphical representation, or we can say the visualization of the data. So for a data scientist, if we are working on a data and we are working in data science field, then visualization of data is very much needed for us. And this graph is in the horizontal because we just mentioned here H. So bar H, bar HIO, it is showing for the horizontal. So this is vertical. This is the bin size. Bin is nothing but the interval. In this interval, how many passengers belong to the particular age? If we mention H, then it will draw this graph on a horizontal manner, right? Then again, on the same, we can draw another type of graph also, right? And if we can plot, yes, we can calling it is a function of matplotlib. We can call this show method also, so that yes, so that will be clear. And again on the same data, so that is our understanding that which type of graph or which type of method is helpful to show the result, to communicate the result to the management or to the audience or to the stakeholders. Suppose I am a person in the sales and I have to show the result to my boss. So it is my understanding that which type of graph is needed. In this data, I can just I can just draw the other graph also. So let's see what we can do. We can try other graph also. So on this same, so group data, which is grouped by on, let's see on the same data, so that it will be easy to understand. That's why we are repeating, or I'm repeating the same example. Age, then size, and on that we can call plot. I mean plot here kind is equal to, suppose, so we just check this syntax one more time. Group data, where the data is stored in the form of bins. Group age, calculating the numbers. I'm audible to all of you, ma'am?
Yeah, audible.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. So again, group by data, where this data is stored in the form of different bins. Group by with age, and now we are calling the pie method. And again we can call, sorry, plot dot this is the one representation of the same data. This is the, again same, or even we can do one more thing, the same with the help of see, now it is up to the data scientist that what is the format which is more communicable to the audience. Numbers, such graph, horizontal, vertical, or the pie chart, right? So it is showing that 15 to 30, this much. Then again 30 to 45, 45 to 60, 75 to this, 75 to 90 is only this, very few numbers, right? So these are the various representations of a particular graph. I hope session will be okay. Then one more thing I have to communicate this. We can draw the 3D graphs also. Just have a look for one short example, right? Sometime it is needed. I'll just mention. Right. So in 3D graph, sometime it is needed to draw 3D graph. So for 3D graph, we have to import the libraries. So from MPL and MPL underscore tool. What I want to import dot 3D. Just showing the name. This is the advantage of Google Colab, that all the libraries are already inbuilt. So just execute it. We'll check. Okay, this is available. Then we can import okay, NumPy, and this we have already imported. Like, just for the understanding purpose, we can check import. Okay, leave it. So what we want, we variable called figure, which is our figure, the graph. You can say this is one figure. So this is represented by a variable, and we call plot plt dot figure fi this, right? Then we just draw the figure and axis. So what should be the axis? So we have to plot plt dot axis, and the x, what should be the axis of that particular figure? So projection. So projection equal to, here we have to mention 3D, right? Still we plot dot show. We'll just check the code. Just import the mplot figure plt. Plt is matplotlib. So we call the draw the figure, and plt.axis projection is equal to 3D, and that call show method. It is just a figure. See, we didn't provide the x, y, and z column values. So this is just a figure in the 3D format, x, y, and z. So if we will pass the x, y, and z values, then that will be printed into this. So we can just have a, if possible. Okay, let's see. Just in a couple of minutes, we can just get the values of x, y, and z also. So we have to call same this ax is equal to, so that we can save the time and we can go with another. Yes, 3D. And now we have to project three things. We have to I mentioned. First is the value for, this is the default value, X, Y, and Z. So we have to provide what is the value we have to mention on these graphs, and then the value which we want to draw. So just a second. So the minimum what we
Sir,
can,
is it AX is equal to AX is equal to PLT, or it is just one AX?
Yes, sir. Acha, sorry. Okay, so what we want, we just take one variable called Z line, and in Z line we have import the numpy also. No, so I have to import numpy here. So I import numpy as np. Yes, so Z line, what I want, just directly call the random method, or in place of random I can call the line space, np dot line space, this method. So it will take 3 parameters: starting values, last values, and the how many values I want. Suppose I want 1000 values. And next, what I want, X line. X line is equal to, how we can do it, anything. Suppose I want np dot sign of this Z line. Yes, the sign value. So it will generate 0 to 15 interval, 1000 values, and all the values will be passed to sign, and that will be my X. And similarly Y, and that could be any other function called cos, and in Z line. So these are the 3 values which is which we got for X, Y, and Z axis, and that has to be plotted on that graph. What we want, AX dot plot 3D graph, right? Mention 3D graph. Then in this graph, 3 parameters, X, Y, and this. So X line, comma, Y line, comma, Z line, and what color we want. For an example, we want gray color, right? Similarly, we can calculate 3 data also, which we have to print inside this graph. So we can call random number, I says 15 into and random variable np dot ran random. Okay, then what is the method, random dot random function, and how many values I want 100 values randomly, which is multiplied by 15. Okay, then similarly I want X data, and X data could be anything called same np dot. So data can be anything, and I pass Z data, which can be multiplied with some values so that it can be fitted properly in my graph, and into then np dot random dot random 100, and the last is Y data, which is again equal to same, we can take So np dot cos and of the same z data, and which can again be, and it can be otherwise it will be very high. Anything, it can be again same equal, and it can be what, same dot random dot random and bracket 100, and these three values. Then I want to plot a scattered graph. So x dot, let's check what are the various options it give to me. Scattered, but no, not scattered. This time what we want is scattered 3D, right? And I have to pass three values: x data, y data, and one we can say color map. So color scheme is it is done. Ax plot axis projection is 3D, then z line is something line space. See, we will not mention this, even we can draw, because these are the values z, x, or which will be printed over these lines. Okay, right, error. Projection is equal to this 15. Ax3 support object has no attribute called PLT, and where we have mentioned, just a minute, Ax is equal to not this. This is something. So these are the values x, y, z. So we can go with 3D diagrams also where it is needed, and somewhere, and same we can use with bar chart also, and 3D pie chart also, and 3D others. This and one thing which I want to share with you is, one more thing is the, which I can say the power of Seaborn library, and this, which is very much helpful for analyzing the data. So in the data, this is the data which is available in Titanic.ship CSV or train.csv. If we want to analyze all the graph which is available in a single line, so we can just visualize, or I'll mention visualize the, see everything. Power of Seaborn. Why we are saying that it is very much helpful and a powerful library? So we called PLT dot figure, right? We have to draw a figure, and the figure size will be what? Whatever you want. I want fig size is equal to, that could be or 10,7, small, so that it will be visible. It is nothing. It will draw a figure. The size is 10,7. 10 is length will be in 10 unit. Ma'am, I'm audible. Ma'am. Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Sir,
Yes,
yes,
go
sir.
ahead,
Okay,
sir.
sir. Last 5 minutes, I'll conclude it in the 5 minutes. I'll not take the session more than that. So 10 is the length of the figure, and 7 will be the height, or you can say width of that figure. Now, we just call one method, SNS. SNS is what? The alias name of Seaborn library. What I have to call? I have to call dot pair plot. This pair plot, right? And where you want to draw? I want to draw it on this data, right? Only this. Then plot dot show, so that that extra information will not be visible. See the magic of, or see the power of this library. I hope it will give the desired result to us. It is showing the internet speed basically. If we will execute it on the local Jupyter notebook, then definitely it will be fast. Oh, okay. So plot is not defined. I'm so sorry. It is typing mistake. So we have how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. This is, see this. I hope we are able to see this. Oh, let me check. This is, so each and every graph will start from bottom. See this, the graph between two entities. First one between passenger and fare, you can analyze scattered. Survive and fare and passenger ID, this graph. Fare and survive, this graph. Fare and P class, this is. Fare and age, fare and sibling, and this siblings, and fare and fare, right? Similarly, up, total possible combination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and similarly up. All the possible combinations can draw in a single graph, single line method, right? So this is the power of inbuilt libraries. Otherwise, we have to write so many lines to draw it, right? And the last, which I missed and will continue somewhere, I'll show. I have something. So this is the power of Seaborn library, or you can say the power of Python libraries, which provide us to inbuilt methods and the function which we can use to visualize the data in a very efficient manner. See how much efforts it take. 3 lines and giving so many data analysis. Now we can visualize. We can visualize the sibling, and with respect to survival. So this is showing this graph. And more thing which I want to display. That was the library. I just open local Jupyter notebook. And I have This cafe dot, right? So in the morning we discussed that this we can visualize this cafe dot CSV file we had, I think, right? So we want to just visualize the data longitude and longitude on the our Google Maps, right? So I had executed. Yes, this is, so we can just call the Folium libraries and we can draw the data, and this is, we can save the data also, right? And we can just get such output. So this is the output of such things, the stores, and even we can just find out the analytics that, okay, this is the store. See, this is Subhas Nagar cafe, and this is the footfall for every day. So on that basis, my CEO can decide.
Sir, what is the parameter of the location? Like
longitude
last time you latitude and longitude. Okay.
Yes, we will share that thing also, or we can complete it in the next sessions. So this is the things that, I mean, we can this is again the next library which we will discuss if we have the time formats, Folium. So in the Folium we can draw the maps. It is basically only for the maps. So see this, we just have the longitude and latitude. So this is sorry, this is the cafe, and if we just analyze, these are the total number of, see, all over India, where is, we can analyze with any location. So in Pune, these are the locations. This is the average footfall. So this is the thing which we can continue in the next session. So whenever we will having the time. So this Folium library, which is very, very helpful to represent the data on the maps, right? So with that node, I'll continue and just bind up the session, right? And thank you so much, Alok sir and the ma'am, for giving me an opportunity to present this session. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, ma'am.
So, dear participants, we conclude the session here, and we will meet tomorrow at scheduled time. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.